Field goal territory with over 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Denver ended up turning it over on downs in a game that ended 10-7, the final score. So here is Sean Payton after the game on that decision.
There's always regrets. I felt like, here we are 4th and 1. We felt close enough that, and it's also a call you make based on the team you're playing and what you're watching on the other side of the ball. So yeah, there'll always be second thoughts.
Now, we could pick apart all these plays, and obviously that's our job to do this the day after it happens. But when you look at that field goal, obviously the weather in the second half of the game had a big impact on the final score and the ability to make plays. Do we have an issue with Payton not kicking a field goal there in the second quarter? Go ahead, S.A.
A slight one. A slight one. Because, you're going up against a Patriots team that's allowed 8.7 points per game in the playoffs. Their defense, they've been neutralizing a lot of offenses. We understand that. Not that the Chargers or the Texans offense is anything to brag home about, but the bottom line is you did what you were supposed to do, and you did it exceptionally well defensively. So knowing that there was a New England Patriots team that you was going against, anticipating that this was going to be a low-scoring game, you've got to take points where you can get it. The one thing that I will say that gives me a reason to be a bit skeptical is only if this is the case. Did you have any clue whatsoever that the weather was going to be like that in the second half? Because I don't know what the meteorologists out there were saying, what they were anticipating. Sometimes they make these kind of predictions. Sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're right. I'm wondering how much knowledge Sean Payton had about that. Were you expecting inclement weather to be a factor in the second half the way that it was? But, other than that, like I said, I get where he's coming from. Of course, you have some regrets in hindsight. You look at it and you say he should have, but it wasn't like it was the most egregious decision in the world.
I love the aggression by Sean Payton. I think it's the right call. If you go up on the New England Patriots by 14 points, they ain't scoring 14. If you think about not getting it, do you believe they can drive 85 yards and score a touchdown? Do you believe they'll even get 50 and kick a field goal? You don't, and they didn't. And so I don't have a problem with that. I like Sean Payton's aggression. I just feel like he made a grown man decision with a little boy mindset. And what I mean by that is that's not the play. The play to get 4th and 1 should be a play of physicality, should be a play where you give yourself some sort of creativity. This was one of the more easily dissected plays in Sean Payton's playbook, whose playbook is extremely deep. You look at the touchdown to Cortland Sutton in the first quarter in the boot game. Go to that. Give yourself an opportunity to have a play that actually looks like a run so you can draw people into the box to give you opportunities in the flat or to the corner. He didn't do any of those things. And so for me, I don't mind the aggression. You have Jarrett Stidham. If you got a chance to go up by 2 touchdowns, I believe you take it. But I believe the play call by Sean Payton is second guess. And he said himself, I changed it from a run to a pass. He started to overthink it. And once he got to overthinking it, maybe that was the time to say, I'm going to go for 3 because I'm not sure what I want to do.
Yeah, I would have kicked the field goal in that moment. I thought that was the wrong decision. I thought the Rams going for it was the right because they're all independent of each other. Playing with a backup quarterback in a top 3 defense. But even more so, the decision to go for it is the mistake, I would say, is calling the timeout. Because the one thing that I don't want to do against a well-coached team is give that well-coached team the opportunity to talk with the coaches again. Because if you watch the play, it's very clear that New England knows this is likely happen. Like, you could watch the outside defender step down. He's got vision on the back coming out, and you're like, oh, I know the play. You could watch Milton Williams step down and go out. And so I would have kicked the field goal, but I certainly wouldn't have called that timeout and then went about going forward on 4th down. If I call that timeout and sit there and go, I ain't giving Vrabel the chance and Zach Kerr the chance to prep their guys with our likely play, I think that's a miss by Sean Payton.
This is the same guy who calls an onside kick to start the second half of a Super Bowl. He has always been one of the most aggressive 4th down play callers. He is who he is. He was going for that. He was going to try to put the nail in that coffin there when they had the opportunity. They don't. I do find it interesting league-wide because whether it was Dan Campbell going 0 for 5 on 4th down attempts against the Eagles on a Sunday night, whether it was McVay last night, whether it's the countless times people are saying, just take the points, take the points. If the pendulum will swing back in these coaching circles, now that the kickoff gives you the ball at the 35, like, do you just take the points? Because it seems like every game is being decided by a field goal or less. Instead of constantly going, I know the analytics tell us one thing and we're in an analytics world, But it felt like time and time again, these playoffs, these games are decided by so few points, and so many coaches left points.
The only thing I would say, too, in regards to that is we have to put it into context that when Philly went forward so often, they were, one, way more physically dominant, and it was often the tush push. Detroit, way more physically dominant, so they could run it. Washington, they had a quarterback that was just hot and wildly special. And so that's why we can't just say, well, everybody, no, you're not everybody. You're not the Eagles, the Lions, and or Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. So I do think we've lost vision of that. Like Denver is not the physically dominant
I would love for the analytics crowd, the go for it crowd, to like do a playoff, do an actual case study and see if going for it on fourth down actually worked the way that everyone always says, go for it, go for it, go for it. I don't know if the pendulum swings.
Yeah, right. Well, this game obviously was decided by 3 points. The Rams-Seattle game was decided by 4. Nonetheless, we do have our Super Bowl. We'll discuss this at length more going forward. Coming up next on First Take, Sam Darnold.
Hate you for that. Anyway, Damian Woody, ESPN NFL analyst.
I got to ask Smalls and Cece this.
Okay.
Has he been projecting his voice this loud today? Is there a reason why he seems like he has a lot of energy this morning?
he's swagging
a little bit differently today.
It just seems like seems like he got a little bit of a pep in his step.
He came in this morning rocking some Timbs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it was snowing. I mean, I had to wear Tim's.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not saying they were cool, the version I have. They fit my feet, and they got me into the snow.
Okay.
Or through the snow. Damian Woody is a former Patriot. How did this happen? Seriously, you and I were both high on them this year, but not to this level.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I thought coming into the year that they would, vie for a wild card spot. I did. Like, I thought that, Mike Vrabel coming back would basically put things back in motion. But even my wildest dream, I didn't envision anything like this happen. But I will say that, like I always say, coaching matters more so in the National Football League than any other sport. And you see the imprints of that with Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, and that whole coaching staff. The level in which all these guys, whether they are homegrown talent, they were drafted, or the free agent pickups that the Patriots acquired, all those guys have just played fantastic football. Think of the impact of all of these guys, from obviously Drake May being an MVP candidate, a Milton Williams who comes over from Philadelphia, Christian Barmore, Christian Gonzalez. The list goes on and on of all these guys just playing big roles and playing big-time football.
Damian, how much more does Drake May have to do for you to go to the place of him being better than Josh Allen?
I mean, listen, I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league right now. Mm-hmm. He's not far off. He's not far off. You see how you before the play, I'm like, take the points.
Definitely.
Take the points. Like, you're not going, listen, you got a backup quarterback going up against one of the best defenses, and this game is going to have weather. Take the points. You're going to be up 2 scores, and you put the Patriots on their heels. You go for it. You don't get it. Next thing you know, Jarrett Stidham turns the ball over, gives the Patriots a short field, and score a touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 7-7. And now you're in a dogfight with weather rolling into the game. See, that's what I'm talking about as far as managing a game. And I thought Mike Vrabel, just clobbered Sean Payton in that game yesterday.
Well, let's talk about the other game, the Seahawks and the Rams. In your opinion, has Sam Darnold done enough for you to say he's no longer seeing ghosts, but he is the boogeyman now? Oh,
he definitely exercised that. I think that was probably Sam Darnold's best game of his career. I thought Sam Darnold was phenomenal. And if you think about the past couple games, they hadn't asked Sam Darnold to do much of anything. He was really just managing. The game before, he only had 17 passes.
Yeah, 17 that touchdown I throw to JSN in the 49ers game. That's a big